This is the story of how my tiny little Peugeot beat me. It doesn't start on that day though. Let's rewind. The mood was actually great. Car was rolling, most of the mechanicals were back together, and now I could really, clean up for the final time and then push through the finish line. Or so I thought.
And you do look like fun. There's no safety on this trigger. Lately I'm a loaded gun. Mean it in the nicest way. You might wanna stay away from me, 'cause I'm a train wreck, a train wreck. I'm a train wreck.
I had reached the magical 90% mark, where you actually have about 40-50% of your work left, but it looks like you're almost there. And the more I dug into it, the more I realized how many loose ends there still were. So while I really wanted to drive this thing, I started tackling those one by one.
I might as well be a wrecking ball. If you were smart, you would step on back. Did it in the nicest way. You might wanna stay away from me. Listen to me as I say, you don't know my history. 'Cause I'm a train wreck, a train wreck. I'm a train that will be repaired. Lord knows I can make it there. At least I think I can. I think I can. Oh, maybe then you'll see that other side of me. Oh, I think I can, but right now all I am is a train wreck. A train wreck. I'm a train wreck. And I don't know how to say this.
Even the best suppliers sometimes mess up. And I'm using these brake lines on almost all my cars because they're fantastic. They look period correct, but they're braided stainless on the inside, then with a black cover over it and brass fittings, so no one could ever tell. But the brake feel is fantastic. Now, the problem is this is an original fitting. And it has a deep recess, and this is the part that came in the mail. And as you can see, there's no way I'm going to fit the retaining clip in that slim slot, which is why we have a lathe. I'm happy, it's done. Let's move on with life. To elude the sense of false security, I immediately covered up the clean car and went on to find yet more jobs that I had to do, starting with the intake manifold. And because I really dislike that job, I'm just gonna put it back in after it's done. Once a lot of the components showed up from France, I was really eager to get things going, and looking at that list, I was about to hit a major milestone. I was so close. And here I am, putting oil in, gearbox is already full, and all I need to do is just and after I've realized the ECU wasn't plugged in, and another week later, we're just about where we started. Same spot, same cover, nothing really accomplished.
You know what makes this exceptionally Monday today? This car has been sitting here for 2 weeks, and I still don't know the outcome of this.
I also have to admit that the coffee from the new coffee machine is significantly better than the old one. In my previous attempts, I was able to narrow it down to the ignition system. So naturally,
The touchy bit, a new coil, a new set of plug wires, distributor cap, and ignition module. Normally you would swap parts one by one to see where the fault was. I think I'm just gonna put it all in and see if it runs. The fuel pump doesn't work. It doesn't do anything if I put 12 volt directly to it.
of course, the fuel pump was working before. And it was at this very moment that I decided this isn't going to plan, and I just quit. I just couldn't stand it. The fuel pump is disassembled on the table, but I can't do anything about it. The wiper mechanism is also broken, and I didn't even feel like cleaning up after me. I just literally put the tools down, shut off the lights, and left. Really, the only uptake for me is it's starting to look like a car again.